Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. You can see maybe out the window the leaves are changing color. God is in control, God is good, and nature will remind us of that if we look for it. And I think that's something that's important, that we take time and let nature remind us. We have to allow it to remind us that God exists and that God is in control. So, I want to take a moment today and talk to leaders, pastors, missionaries, evangelists, those of you who are leaders in the church. You know, one of the hard things is admitting that we're getting older. And I mean, I'm only 38, so I'm not there yet, but sometimes I feel like it. But one of the things that I've noticed is that many pastors, specifically pastors, definitely evangelists, we do not bring up, we don't disciple leaders underneath of us. And I can't tell you how many pastors I've seen that when their time comes to an end as pastoring, they retire, they haven't trained people to take over for them. Excuse me, I got allergies. They haven't trained the next generation. They haven't brought up another group to take over. And I just had a really good conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and he has a very awesome ministry. But, he's in his 70s, and his time is coming to an end as a leader. I'm not saying he's going to die anytime soon, but his time as a leader is coming to an end, where he's going to have to start slowing down and rethinking some things. And I know other pastors who have been through that. And, it's interesting. Now, a friend of mine, Pastor Gustav de Toy in South Africa, he ended up becoming very sick, where he was out of the pulpit for 6 weeks. And what was interesting was when he stepped away, the leadership team was able to come in and take over, and many people didn't even know he was sick. They just thought that the team was doing their job. So, that's exactly how you should have it, that when your time comes to step down for whatever reason, right? And it's not always because you're old, it's not always because you're dead. There's other reasons why you can have to step down. Maybe God calls you to a new place. Maybe God says, hey, I want you to come out here and do this or do that. We just have talking to a pastor in town the other day who was at a church for a long time, and then he saw some things of God and wanted to bring those things into the church, and the church said, we don't want any part of it, and they booted him out. Well, in that situation, there was nobody to take over. So the church now is crumbling, and he's at another church that accepted him, and he's thriving. So now his job at this other church is that he needs to start looking for somebody to come in and take his place and carry on. Somebody that he can teach. That's a big part of it, is can he teach the person so that that person can actually come in and take over. And that's a big deal, a very big deal. Because what I see is that most pastors are not doing this. And what we're really running into is we're running into a generation of pastors who are school taught, but not taught in a school of hard knocks. They don't have life experience at all. And so, I was thinking last night, I'm like, you're not really a seasoned pastor or an experienced pastor until you're either 40 years old or over 40 and have pastored at least 10 years. So you either have to pastor for 30, 40 years, or you at least need to be 40 years old and then pastor 10 years. But if you're young, and I was like this, so it's not like I'm speaking against people. This is how my situation went too. If you're young and you have no experience pastoring, you haven't proven yourself yet. You really haven't. I'm speaking to myself. But if you're young and you don't have 10 years worth of ministry under you, plus life experience, and you're not really an experienced pastor yet. You haven't really been through it. And that's why this older generation, you guys need to be teaching the younger generation what it means to pastor. You know, yes, as pastor, you will be cleaning toilets. Let them know that. You will be sweeping the floors. You will be the one doing all the hard work. You may be the one decorating for Christmas or, you know, Thanksgiving, whatever holidays are coming up. You may do it all alone. Oh, by the way, you also have to go do home visits and hospital visits and listen to Aunt Betty when she cries, you know, that she's got a hangnail. All these things are real. But Bible college doesn't usually teach that. Maybe some of them do, but most of them don't. And we need that older generation to teach that. So, one, start praying. I mean, I just prayed with a guy yesterday that God would send him a replacement. And that when that replacement comes, he will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is the man who is to carry on the ministry. This is a big deal. And it's something we need to be asking God to do for us. So pray for it. Ask God to take care of that situation, to send those people. And, you know, He'll do it. He'll send you the right person at the right time, and He'll take care of you. But you got to pray and ask. You know, you got to pray with expectation that God is going to send somebody. And especially if you're over 60, if you're a pastor and you're watching this and you're over 60, you need to start praying for it. Regretfully, pastors' life experience or span is not as long as normal people. There's too much stress involved with pastoring, and many pastors struggle with that. Many of you can't probably even retire because your church doesn't pay enough, and I mean that's just a realistic thing. But at 60, you need to start looking who's going to take over. Who can I start training? It could take anywhere from 6 months to 10 years to train a leader to come up, you know. So start looking for that person now. Ask God to send him, and I'll pray with you. You know, if you want somebody to pray with you, and so you know 2 or more are in agreement, give me a call, message me here, whatever, and we'll pray about it. Because it's something that needs to be done. And again, I'm not saying if you're 60 you're done preaching. Please don't take it that way. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is at 60, you got to start looking for who's going to take over. So that's my word for the day. Thank you. Be blessed. And again, if you want me to stand in agreement with you or anything, get a hold of me and I will do that. All right. Thank you. And I will talk to you guys later.